evening. How you doing? Two in the chat. Before we get started, for those who've not seen the videos, this is me, Fisherman, uncensored. Fisherman's Blues. Like, subscribe, press that notification button, and come and watch. Come and talk, join the chat, and let's have a chat about the football. Mainly my club Ipswich, and where I'm donning the latest kit, obviously. A little bit tight this one. Maybe I should have got for a bigger size. I need a shave as well. There we are. It is what it is. Right. Shall we get into it? Good evening, Shane. Lovely to see you. I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you did. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, to be brutally honest. It was, it's gone really quick. I went back to work today. Yeah. So I'm a little bit tired, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, no, it just went like that, didn't it? Always does. Big build up. My kids happy. They had a few presents. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did change. To be fair, chap, it wasn't a bad Christmas at all. To be fair, bit sort of hectic. Sort of yesterday, had my daughter over with her two little ones. Yeah, crazy girls. Love them to bits. Martin, how you doing? Evening. Hope you had a good Christmas. That was, yes, Eric Claps. We'll get into that, chap. Absolutely. Actually, let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. Ipswich Town, go to the den. I think Millwall I think they were short 8 first-team players, 8 or 10 first-team players. So they were struggling with their lineup. We went with same back four, which has done us pretty good, to be fair. Midfield two of Ajust and Matasiwa, and then Philogene on the left, Nunes in the 10, and oh dear, McAteer on the right. And then obviously the racehorse on crutches. Up front, that is Azon. And I couldn't decide which of the worst two players on that pitch between them two. I want to talk about them straight away because they were bloody awful. Azon, I struggle to understand how he meant to be a number 9. I do not know. My God. His touch, his headering, his football is just terrible. McAteer, I don't know what to say, really. I haven't. Interesting to watch. More interesting watching paint dry than the performance yesterday. Proscatinating Womble. Here comes Scrooge. McAteer had a best second half, Mike. He couldn't have been any worse. Let's be honest with you. Oh dear, my God. Look, I think the reality is we have to look at it like this. It's not his fault that we paid that money for him, and we cannot blame him for that side of it. What we can do is we can blame the recruitment, because, you know, I can think of 2 players I could have bought for that, which would have been a lot better. I mean, we sent Ogbenny out on loan, who we bought for the Premier League, and yet we decided to buy McAteer in, who is quite frankly one of the worst players I've seen in a Town shirt for a while. He just can't do anything. I mean, there's nothing. He runs. He's just, honestly, he's just a poor man's Caden Jackson. And I was talking to friends and family and stuff about it, and they all say the same. And yet he got ahead of Egeli. I just don't. But do you know what, actually, right? Yeah, do you know what? Absolutely, Paul says, who sanctioned the buy of these two? No idea. It's Ashton or McKenna or both, or no idea. I mean, whoever sanctioned it above their head need questioning. So McAteer's poor going forward, but seems okay defensively. Okay, so play him as a right back then, because he's not a forward. He certainly is no forward. If Matt, if he's better playing defensive, play him right back. Play him in that furlong role, because he's not a forward player, forward winger at all. He offers nothing. And there was another frustrating part to the game yesterday. I was watching, O'Shea when he got the ball, or Matt Seawell get the ball. You had at times Philogene waving his arms, going, "Hello, I'm over here. I've got all the space in the bloody world." Yeah. No one passed to him. Absolute madness. You're taught as a player to get into space, to open up the pitch, whatever. Jayden did that brilliantly yesterday, and yet, wow, no one passed him the ball. And when he did get the ball, he was in tight areas. Give him the ball when he's got space. Let him run at plays. Let him do what he does dangerously. For me, that's what we need to do. Some chats in here. Here comes... There he is. There he is. Right, hold on. No, I nearly pressed the wrong button then. Benny is better than McAteer. Well, I'd agree there. Here he is, the armchair fan, Suffolk Crunch. If you're not subscribed, go over to his channel. He's a good lad. We have some interesting conversations, bless him. Was comparing Moore and Broadhead with Azom. Was comparing more. Do you know what? Absolutely. I struggle to understand why we let Broadhead go and why we didn't go in for Kiefer Moore at this level. At the beginning of the season, I probably wouldn't have done, but what I didn't think was our recruitment would be so crap. Again, Akpom been absolutely poor. Dino says, too bloody slow again. It's so boring to watch us. Philogene was shit yesterday. Yeah, but Rich, he wasn't given the ball, mate. Sometimes, I've said this before, what you can't do when you're at a football match is what you can do on the telly. When you watch players, I sometimes watch, and I watch Philogene. He got into some great positions. The same thing happened with Burns a couple of seasons ago. He was getting some great, but no one was giving the ball. When finally they started giving the ball, that's when we started hurting teams. Jayden, with respect, just wasn't getting the ball when he had loads of time on that left-hand side, and he didn't get it. No, he wasn't as bad as McAteer. If Jayden offers something, McAteer doesn't. Simple as. He is probably the worst player I've seen in the town shirt since Jonathan Douglas. Jayden was good, but no end product. Always thought you should write a self-help book. Give your head a wobble. Maybe. Caduced, apart from a couple of turns, did nothing. Was jogging back when we lost the ball. Again, I think it frustrates me watching Caduced, because I thought against who did he play? Oh, did we play the other day? His game before, I thought he was brilliant. One of the best players. That was probably his best game I've seen him. He just controlled the ball going forward, defensively got back, but it's like yesterday he couldn't be asked. When Burns fully fit, stick him right, and Agueli in the 10. Nunes back into the midfield. Nunes has got 8 assists in that number 10 role now, or in that sort of attacking midfield role now. Don't move him, leave him. Nunes was going wide because McAteer was offering nothing. So, that says everything you need to know about that. I think if you've got a player that's doing something on that right-hand side or on the left-hand side, your number 10, if they're not doing anything, your number 10 tends to move over there, who was good yesterday? O'Shea was the worst of the bunch. Oh, my God, O'Shea. How many times did you give that ball away? It was back to oh shit rather than O'Shea okay, because he was awful at times yesterday with his distribution. How much is he paid to pass the opposition? And I remember putting to one of my mates in the chat in a chat that we talk about, and I said to him, he does know we're playing in red, right? Because honestly, he kept giving it to Millwall. Let's catch up on some other ones here. Taylor shouldn't be anywhere near the squad at the moment. Who we got? Brody wanted to go, and I know Broad wanted to go, but yeah, I'd have felt would, I think we should have tried and kept him. Why the fact to give Burns 10 minutes? Ask McKenna because no one else does. No one asks McKenna tough questions. Smodic is injured now. I said this yesterday. Smodic is still recovering from his injury. He has been ill as well leading up to Christmas. So I'd rather him not play and be fully fit on the bench or fully fit than have a half Smodic, as I say. We badly need a right back. I didn't think Furlong did much wrong. I didn't think he'd done much right either. I think he was Mr. Average yesterday, if I'm honest. Hey, my man. I support Turkey football team Besiktas. Yes, I know it. Absolutely. 10 TU says hi, hello. O'Shea would be dropped if he wasn't captain. O'Shea shouldn't be captain. He shouldn't. There's no captain material in that player as long as I've got a hole in my arse. Should have gone to Specsavers. Well, yeah, Smodic on the way out, in my opinion, is the injury a smokescreen. My boys got some info. That's not what I've been. None of that sort of come to fruition. He knows a little bit about what's been going on. Can't say too much because obviously he's been told a bit in confidence. But I can just say that he's been injured. He's not been well, and I've got no other information other to say that not as far as I know he's going anywhere. We now need to reduce our expectations. Kieran McKenna is an average manager, average player. League is so average. For any other season, we would be mid-table. 100%. I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more. This is the problem. This is my issue with the league. It is one of the poorest leagues, championships of this season that I've seen for a long time, and it's disappointing because on paper we should be ripping into teams and we're not. Average manager. Right. Okay. So. Here's my take on it, right? And I still haven't forgiven him for what happened to that awards night. So when we got promoted to the Premier League and he was being touted as for Chelsea, Man United and whoever else, at the award show, that I think one of the presenters said, "Are you looking forward to your season with Ipswich and all that?" And he refused to commit himself to the club. He thought he was on his way out, and he said, "Whatever happens, we should be in a good place." And that kind of stuck in the back of my throat with Kieran McKenna because I just felt that, we're giving you that chance, and now you look like you could be out the door. And that was the way he was coming across. And it was only because we gave him a £5 million contract. There was a reason why he stayed. Did he deserve a pay rise? Bloody right he did. He got us back-to-back promotions, But so did Paul Lambert. Done Norwich back-to-back promotions. I think who was the other one at Southampton? Back-to-back promotions. With respects, they did it, but they all lost their job in the end because things weren't going well. I think McKenna's a very good coach. I think he's a very, very good football coach. I think he man manager. I don't know whether his man management is up to it because I don't, maybe with the other team, but this team is just not, the man management doesn't seem right. It's quite, it feels quite restricted, and I just feel that the players are playing with a leash on. It's like they're all running around that pitch with a ball and chain. There's no freedom of movement, not freedom to do what they want to do. There's a lot of restriction there. This first half of the season, at times, has been such a struggle to watch. And I know we're sitting third in the league, and the people say to me, "Oh, you should be grateful. You should be more positive. We're third in the league." I just can't get this thing out of my head that this is papering over the cracks, because there is cracks there. You can see the cracks. You hear noise coming out of Portman Road, you know, and there's a lot of there's a few fans that can't see the wood through the trees. Look, if I'd have said at the start of the season we'll be sitting third in this league, then I would have taken that and I said, well, yeah, that's a good first half of the season. But having watched us, I think there's games there where we just haven't taken the ball by the horns, and we haven't really looked like hurting any team. You know, we're told when a team comes to us and tries to play our own game, we'll open them up and rip them apart. Well, Stoke did that, and we've only scored one goal, and at times we struggled. Millwall came at us a bit, and again they opened up, and we struggled. Yeah, you're right, Dee. I am pessimist. You know, the end of the day is I'm also a realist. And right now, you know, I would struggle. I would struggle to see how we would survive in the Premier League. Funny enough, actually, Simon says if we go up, we'd be worse than Wolves are now. Agree. I just cannot see how any of these players, maybe one or two, that could possibly are they an upgrade on what we had? Matasiwa, Morsey? No. Upgrade on Luongo? Arguably, yes. Caduced? No. Neither of them, neither of Luongo and Morsey, better than Caduced in my opinion. Caduced has got technical ability, but he does nothing really with the ball. Nunes is an upgrade on Chaplin. I'd definitely say that. But when you look at Azon and Jaden is just trying to step into Amari Hutchinson's shoes. Ageli, there's a player there. I just think that we could play him in the number 10. We could play him in the number 9. Give him a shout. I think there's a player there that could score us a lot of goals. But I just struggle to understand what McKenna sees sometimes with the way he play. We've been far too slow this season. Far too slow in games. And that's the part of the football that I'm really, really struggling. It's like I want to watch attacking football. I want to watch nice, fluent, nice football. I want to see that game. I want to see that part of the game. But we're not seeing that with Town. We are not seeing that whatsoever. Only in small little segments do we get it. And we get excuses like, well, the squad is new. They need time to gel and all this. Well, the end of the day is the facts speak for themselves. Right now, we're third. We're second. We've got second in the goal difference. I think we're third highest goal scorers. Passing, I think we're like about 6th or 7th. Some of the stats back up that we should be in third. I'm not going to sit here and deny otherwise. I think, see that actually, Dee was right. If that would have been Coventry yesterday, we'd have got a draw against Coventry. I could understand it because Coventry are flying high. But Millwall had half their team bloody missing, and we couldn't even score against them. Some serious players have got to be brought in the January window. We've got to get someone that can bang in 10, 15 goals second half of the season. That would be a massive, massive help to us as a team. We would, A draw would be a good result for Coventry. Well, of course it would. It wouldn't be a good result for us because we need to be beating teams. We need to be winning games so we can, close the gap on Middlesbrough. I mean, look, did anybody see Hayden Hackney swing? And he got a yellow card for that. Madness. I still have him at Ipswich. I think he's a very good player. But my God, was he frustrated. Absolutely. DD, my opinion is we bought poorly in the summer and Kieran must admit that. I totally agree. With Muric, he admitted defeat. He needs to do that with Akpom, Azon and McAteer. Totally agree. Absolutely 100% agree. McAteer is nowhere near good enough for this league. Not in a million years. And I know, and unless he suddenly finds 10 goals in the second half of the season, my opinion won't change on him. So look, the game yesterday as a whole, their keeper was on a sunbed basically most of the game because I don't think he had a save to make, did he? I think, honestly, I genuinely felt he had a pina colada in one hand, a cigar in the other, and a suntan lotion going, yeah, right, no, don't worry, you're not going to get anywhere near us. Oh, I think I've sipped my pina colada, yeah, no, it's just never, yeah, that was it. I mean, Walton, brilliant yesterday. I thought he was very good. For me, man of the match, Kipre. I thought Matsuo was good, but Kipre. That player has got O'Shea out of trouble. He really has at times, and Kipre's distribution is brilliant at times. Powers the ball forward, looks for that simple pass, that penetrating pass. He hit it a couple of times, I grant you, but it's nice to see a defender do that. Greaves. Last thing I will say about Greaves, he'll take the bull by the horns and go forward. The worrying thing is if we don't go up, we don't get to keep Kipre, and then we're back to and Greaves at the back. And we're just So, but it's we sit third. Results yesterday went for us, and we go into our next game. We've got one more game this year. Coventry. Where are we? Monday night, I think it is. And I'm a bit annoyed because it's 6 o'clock and I finish at 6. I'm like, what? So Simon, do you know what? I bet Kipre will stay even if we don't go up like Jens did. I don't think he will. I think there'll be other teams, that possibly Premier League teams looking at him. I don't agree, Trev. If Coventry score early, we could be in for a hiding. Agreed. We haven't come from behind, have we, to beat any team this season. Simon says Kipre's cross yesterday was superb, maybe on the right wing versus Cov. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. You're not wrong there. Kipre's doing well, but he ain't Premier League class either. I don't agree. I think loads of people didn't think Burgess was Premier League, and yet he held his own. Every time he played, he held his own. Should have had more game time, in my opinion. I think he's on for the record for the most own goals in a season this season, though. Poor boy, he's having a right old torrid time. They love him still because he's great. They love the fact he's a good defender, but they are having a bit of a laugh at his expense, the old Swansea fans, regarding his own goal tally. But I don't mean to say, but one player is not going to relegate West Brom, are they? He, I think he's a very good defender. He's an absolute unit. He really is. I've seen him up close and personal. And I think to myself, Jesus, I'm a fairly heavy guy, but Jesus, if I bounced into him, I would seriously be bouncing off him. I think he's very good. Sometimes players get better the older they get. Burgess was a prime class example of that. Burgess was, the older he got, the better he became as a defender. Learned probably a lot from McKenna. But I think, like I said, our biggest issue, and it still is our issue, is our midfield. It really is our issue, the midfield, the defensive midfield, as I would call it. Defensive midfield. We've got Matasiwa, who mops up most of it, but we've got no one that can link up with Nunes or come in that last minute to maybe have a shot. And that's another thing. Jesus Christ. I love Nunes, but he should have shot yesterday. He's trying to make that simple pass in the box to bloody Akpom. We got to stop trying to walk the ball in the net. Let's take some shots outside the area, for Christ's sake. Because it just absolutely, Burgess must be near their leading scorer. Do you know? Oh, bless him. I bloody love Burgess, I really do. I think he's an outstanding defender. But yeah, he probably is their leading scorer. God, dear God. But yeah, look, we can only hope that he has a better second half of the season and not miss the passion of a couple of seasons ago. Chappers, Clark, Morsey, agreed. That's the thing. We have lost a lot of passion. I was talking to my mate Cruncher, and I said they don't look like they're trying. Now, that was probably the wrong word. I would argue that there's no passion in this squad. There is absolutely no passion. No one's trying to get the crowd going. No one is sort of stepping up, and Portman Road is like a bloody morgue at times. It really is. It's and that is probably down to the fact of what you're watching on the football pitch. If you're watching grass grow, then you are going to be bored. And I think that is a problem. Our play is boring. It's slow. It's not dynamic. There's nothing dynamic about this squad. The Morsey squad, that was dynamic. That really was dynamic. And I just think, I don't know, I still can't help think, a better manager, another manager might do a better job. I just do. I know that I'm going to get some stick for it because Kieran McKenna is loved, but I've said this before, Lambert got sacked at Norwich after doing back-to-back promotions. Ranieri won the Premier League with Leicester. Loved but got the sack in the end. Everything comes to an end, and I just feel that we need a bit of a change in direction with regards to the manager. I think we need someone with a little bit of experience now, because McKenna is just stuck in his ways. There's very much I'm just a viewer, but could you give Mike a like, please? My thumbs up is lonely. Thank you. Oh, yeah, if you could give me some likes, that'd be great. Do you know what? Thank you, Womble. I really appreciate it. The end of the day is, look, like I said, I'm not here for fame and fortune. I'm here to have a chat with on a live stream with people that about my club, who I absolutely adore. And people say I'm too negative. Maybe I am, but I just want more for my club. I just want more than what I'm watching on the football pitch. If we were more dynamic and more, it just looks like we're a bit lethargic. An asthmatic snail was a word used. It is predictable and it is boring football. But at the same time, we're sitting third in the Championship, 5 points behind Middlesbrough. Am I just being a Mikey Mona, or am I just being? Hang on a minute. Look, we might be sitting third, but unless something changes, we ain't going to get promoted. We ain't getting automatics. We have to be more than the sum of our team. We have to be more. You have to have that X factor. To get promoted out of the Championship, you have to have that X factor. And we don't have an X factor. With Morsey, Luongo, Chappers, Burns, even Wolfie, Clark, Davis, that team had the X factor, had that togetherness, had that, like, we are seriously going to go up. We are going to do this. We are going to, and when they got the ball forward, it got forward quickly. But this lot, no. Oh, that was a stat. O'Shea has had the most touches of the ball. That was what I saw. If this team went up again, now we would be battered again. Need strength up front and midfield. McKenna's tactics still questionable at times. I can't disagree. But people say, oh, you're just a level 1 coach, Fisherman. What do you bloody know? You don't know nothing about football. No, I've only been around it all my life. Even, anyone with half a brain can see that our tactics at times are bloody woeful. Our football has been shocking at times. I would say 80% of the time it's been shocking. But it seems to be that we can play shocking football and be third, and fans are happy. We could be playing superb football, sitting top of the league right now, and I'd be buzzing. But we're not. And that's the reality of it. Yeah, you know what, Trevor, you're bang on. I said this. So I got laughed at. I said Sunderland will survive the Premier League because they recruited cleverly. They really did. Their recruitment policy was bang on. It weren't luck, it weren't anything. It was good recruitment. And that's something we do not have at Ipswich. And those teams come on once in a while, like Sir Bobby's team, yeah. I mean, Burley, if he'd have had the kind of funds when we went down, he didn't deserve to get sacked. We won the Premier League. We won the Premier League. Went up by the playoffs. We were always doing that close. We just didn't always seem to have the luck. We finished 5th in the Premier League. Everyone's applauding him. He's the best coach ever and all this lot. Next minute, people are asking him to get sacked. Because we come out of the Premier League into the Championship. Joe Royal comes in. I tell you what, Joe Royal in his heyday we'd have been back up with Joe Royal, and it's the same with, I would argue, the same with McCarthy. If McCarthy had the funds that we've got now, he would have got us up. I'm not saying he kept us there, because McCarthy was always a very good Championship manager, knew how to get us out of the Championship. I mean, Christ. Look at the side he got us. It got us into the bloody playoffs with probably a really shit poor side at the time. I've got friends as well, Simon. I've got friends who are Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, and all they want, and they've tried to watch Ipswich, and they said, "My God, it's like watching paint dry." So all I ask is, look, if McKenna watches this, which is probably close to zero chance of happening, just do me a favour, get them boys fired up every game. Let them be unleashed a little bit. Don't stop stifling their play. Roy absolutely had no money and got us in the playoff twice. Absolutely, bang on. If we'd have had money, we'd have gone up with Royal. No two ways about it. And the thing is, like I said, with the Premier League money and what we spent this year, we spent 170 million pounds. What was that? He broke the team's spirit by signing players on twice the wages. Burley, that is. But you have to argue that's also on Sheepshanks, because he was the chairman at the time and he was the one brokering these deals. I mean, look, Finidi George had that one good game, didn't he? And everybody thought, yes, what a player. And then that was it, wasn't it? But yeah, I see where you're coming from, Shane. Totally understand that. But, and like I said, it's good team spirits are hard to build. And we haven't got a team spirit. We haven't got a natural leader. It just feels that we've got like a make do leader till something better comes along. Because quite frankly, my left toe has got more leadership experience than O'Shea. He gave that ball away and nearly cost us. And it is not one bit did he just hold his hands like, oh, sorry lad, my bad. Not one bit did he get himself wound up and give himself a tap on the head and say, concentrate, you idiot, I would have appreciated that. I would have said, you know what, well done, mate. You owned it, you took it, and you went and carried on. But there we are. That's it. We're third. We've got one more game this year. Score predictions. What are we going for? Coventry against Ipswich Town. What are we going? Last time we had them at home, we beat them 3-0. What are we going for now? What is the scoreline going to be, guys? Let's have a see what we get. Let's write in the chat. Come on. What are we going to go for? What are we going to go for? Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Coventry 3, us 0. I've got Coventry down to beat us 3-1. I've got Cov to beat us 3-1. Woody going 1-1. Trevor going 2-2. Coventry 3, Town 1. So me and Eric agree. Absolutely. I just feel that Coventry, I mean, they've just come back. Who did they beat the week? Who did they beat yesterday? Hang on a second. I've just got to have a quick look. Where are we? Coventry. They beat Swansea, didn't they? Well, that weren't convincing, but they still beat them. For me, I think if Coventry turn up and play, we lose 3-1. If they don't, we beat them 2-0. So, Shane says 1-0 to Coventry. I think I'm not trying to be negative, so I'm gonna go both ways on this. I'm gonna say if Coventry turn up, they beat us 3-1. If they don't turn up, we beat them 2-0. There we are. Ipswich will win. Graham, how you doing, bud? Yeah, Ipswich will win then. First goal is vital. Yeah, I think we've got to be, in transition, we've got to be a lot faster, a lot quicker and get that ball, going forward. I mean, no disrespect, but if you've got players absolutely busting the gut to get forward, you're putting that team on the back foot straight away. I think if we could stop the sloppy passes, do you know what, Trevor, we do? If we produce our game, we have a good chance, but rarely we do. And I agree, we don't do it enough. We can't keep doing it against teams like Coventry. We've got to be doing it against teams that are lower than us in the league, And I know that, look, if we'd have given it a real go against Millwall, and I know that we had a lot more possession and we felt like we were controlling the game at times, but controlling the game and putting the ball in the back of the net are two different things. And that's what we failed to do. We failed to do a proper shot on target, I think. And I think that's the problem, If we'd have given that a go against Millwall and they'd have got away with it and said, yeah, do you know what? Fair play to them. They defended well. We gave them hell. We peppered their box. We shots here, there and everywhere. But we didn't. We whimpered our way to a 0-0 draw. If we go a goal down, there's no chance. Not done it this season. I've said it. We cannot come back from a goal down. It's so frustrating. Very frustrating. But that's me done. It's 40 minutes of the Fisherman Live. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And I will see you after the Coventry game. Thank you, Woody. I appreciate it. Love your chat, Mike. I appreciate it. Keeping it real. Upper town, absolutely upper town. That's the thing. We've got to try and be positive and hopefully get a result against Coventry. It would make up for the dross against Millwall. Then I can forgive them. But in the meantime, we've got 24 hours or 36 hours before the kickoff. Be interesting who starts. Be interesting to see who starts. Because, my God, McAteer shouldn't be anywhere near that team. January window soon. Going to be, or silly season, as I call it, because we're going to be linked with every Tom, Dick, Harry and their friend. And who knows? But anyway, from myself, a massive thank you. I hope you all had a good Christmas. And I will see you, where are we? The 29th is the game Monday. I will do a live Tuesday night, about 8 o'clock-ish. I'll let you know. If you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. You will know when I'm coming on live. You'll know any videos that I upload. And you can enjoy and watch what I've got to say, and please comment in the comments below. I'd love to do a watch along at some point. I'd love to do that. It is a case of finding the time, unfortunately, but we'll give that a go at some point. Anyway, from myself, this is Fisherman's Blues. I'm the fisherman, the controversial fisherman, the real fisherman. You take care. See you Tuesday night. Lots of